Good morning and shalom from a little coffee and a lot of Yahuwah. I am sitting here this morning with a saddened heart because one of our brothers have decided to wander off. It is a man that I respected immensely. I did not put him on a pedestal because he's man and fallible like anybody. But really, I'm not here to condemn him or to judge him. I'm merely here to help you find the understanding that even the elect and the chosen can be deceived. You know, if we look at scripture and we look at King Solomon, which I briefly touched in my previous teaching on the two houses. If we look at the work that Shlomo has done for Yahuwah and obedience to him, writing Mishle or the Proverbs, it is so beautiful to read the Proverbs and to experience Abba's love and wisdom, and then to fall away. It is so incredibly sad. Now, I'm not for one moment putting this person on the same level as King Solomon. I'm not doing any of that kind. Again, I'm not judging him. I'm purely here to point to the evil of the enemy that will go in all his ways to deceive the elect. We must remember that if we reach a level with Abba where we are obeying and guarding his word, walking in his Torah, becoming perfect and pure before him, boy, that is the target the enemy will aim at constantly. I mentioned the other day that particularly just on preparation day, before we're going into Shabbat, how the enemy is trying to mess up our day. It's preparation day again today. And I mentioned the dog messing in the house or messing on the stoop. He's already done it. And my wife and I, we talk to each other, we calm each other down and remind each other that it's the enemy trying us so that we will fail, so that we will get angry and we will sin, and when we open the door to sin, he comes in. Sin is the legal ground for the enemy. Now, it's not just getting angry, it's not just committing adultery that is sin. Disobeying Abba's word is another way. Now, what the enemy will do is, in some cases, when we look at people's weak points, often can be described as your giants. Some people's giant is alcoholism, some is addiction to smoking, some is pornography, some is pride. Can be any of those things. And the enemy will use that, even if you are so close to Abba. He can use any of those weak points. And they will, and he will, to try and deceive you, to draw you away from Abba. Now, the very, very sad part is that if you are a teacher or a leader, very dangerous area to be, to perceive yourself to be a shepherd or a leader or a teacher. Because there comes responsibilities with those, greater responsibilities. And we better make sure that we stay pure. I will read scriptures. As always, I'm not here to give my opinion. I'm here to give Abba's word to you. Let him speak to you. But these are things that Abba's put in my heart that I must relay to you. Please, whoever you are, remember we have one teacher. And whenever we have doubts, go to the scriptures. Don't follow the teaching of man. This particular person is looking at a moving Shabbat. That is totally wrong. Go back to the beginning of Scripture. It says, in 6 days, Abba created the world. And the 7th day, He rested. That's it. In Leviticus 23, where the feasts are discussed, again He starts. And my appointed times are, He starts with the Sabbath. 6 days, the 7th day's rest. That's it. There's not a 4-day and then a 6-day and then you move it around to fit. Nothing. Abba says 6 days, 7th day's rest. And then he goes on to the Moedim of the scriptural feasts, which will move because they fall in line with the moon. It says, and in the first moon, on the 14th day, is Passover. And that is how we work it out. So the first verse I want to share with you is, but he said, Yehusha, blessed rather are those hearing the word of Elohim and watching over it. Remember, Elohim's word. Yehusha is our teacher. Yehusha is the word, and the word is Yehusha. Read John 1, and you will get that understanding. Yehusha said to the scribes and the Pharisees, he says, woe to you learned in the Torah. You know what that means? These Pharisees, those Orthodox Jews, or Yehudim, were learned in the Torah. They had a great understanding, according to them, of the word of Yahuwah. That's why Yehusha said, woe to you learned in the Torah. Meaning that even those who are learned in the Torah can fail. You must always use Yehusha's word and look at what he says. He says, woe to you learned in the Torah because you took away the key of knowledge. Now the key of knowledge is his name. But I was going to do the name teaching this time, but because of what happened, Abba laid it on my heart that I need to speak to the people and tell them. I have to do this first. I have to obey. Early next week, I will be working on the teaching on the name, and you should have that by the end of next week. So, continue again. Woe to you learned in the Torah because you took away the key of knowledge. How did they take away the key of knowledge? How did they take away his name? Because they were afraid, or that they can't say the name right. Well, I'll get into that later. The point is, I hope you can see me. The sun is coming out that side tremendously. There we go. Okay, let's just try that again. There we go. Is it working? And then he says, you did not enter in yourselves, that is into the kingdom of Yahuwah, and those who were entering, you hindered. Can you see? The people of Yahuwah hindered to come to him because of false teaching. The thing is, in those days, the people were not literate. They had to go to the synagogue to hear the word being read to them. Today, we can read. And the thing is, we are responsible for our own salvation. Do not rely on any teacher or a proclaimed teacher. We only have one. If you, by moving the Sabbath is the covenant sign of Yahuwah. And I will discuss the Sabbath in future as well. But having a covenant with Abba, he has given us a sign. And the sign is the covenant, the Sabbath, which is the covenant sign. And if we do not keep the Sabbath, we do not have a covenant with Abba. So, watch out for those who say the Sabbath is not the seventh day. Be careful, because He will take away your covenant from Abba. He will remove the covenant sign if you don't obey it. If you walk contrary to Yahuwah's word, Abba will not have that. He will not have that. He's given us all the ability to understand His word. All. He says in His word that the babes will understand, but He will hide it from the learned ones. Why? Because the learned ones so often become, I am the teacher. This is what Abba says, and this is what it must be. If anybody says to you, this is what Abba says, go check it in the scriptures and see if that is the case. Therefore, I will every time make sure that I confirm with you that I'm not your teacher, but I'm here to help you to connect the dots. And I will always have my list with scriptures. And I will give it to you so that you can go and have a look. Because it is not me. I'm a watchman. I'm here to warn you. I'm here to tell you the truth. And I'm here to give it to you so that you can find it yourself. In Jeremiah 5:29, and please study Jeremiah, Ezekiel, Isaiah, those prophets. It is so awesome to see how Abba so clearly warns us against false teaching. He says, would I not punish them for this, declares Yahuwah? Would I not revenge myself on such a nation as this? An astounding and horrible matter has come to be in the land. The prophets have prophesied falsely. That is the horrible and astounding matter. Please take care with the teachers out there, the prophets out there. Please take care. It says, the prophets have prophesied falsely, and the priests rule by their own hand, and my people have loved it so. And what are you going to do at the end of it? You know, the people out there, the mega churches, the people love it. That's why the churches are so full. They love it. Jeremiah 11, verse 3 and 4, it says, and you shall say to them, thus said Yahuwah, Elohim of Israel. He identifies himself every time. Cursed is the man who does not obey the words of this covenant. What is the covenant? The 10 Commandments. What does it say? The Sabbath, remember my Sabbath. 6 days you work, the 7th day is a rest day. End of story. Not a movable thing. If he said it was movable, he would have told us. Verse 4. Which I commanded your fathers in the day when I brought them out of the land of Mitzrayim. This is valid since long time ago, and it still is. From the iron furnace, saying, obey my voice, and you shall do according to all that I command you. And then the promise, if you obey, you shall be my people, and I shall be your Elohim. So awesome, so beautiful. God and obey Abba's word, and you will be his treasured possession. You will be his child, and he will take care of you. Therefore, if we obey his word, we are his children, his flock. Jeremiah 14:14 says, then Yahuwah said to me, the prophets, obviously Yahuwah talking to Jeremiah the prophet, and then he says, then Yahuwah said to me, the prophets prophesy falsehood in my name. That is so sad, because, and hence the person that I'm talking about is prophesying in the name of Yahuwah, and now he's changed his ways. And Abba says, the prophets prophesy falsehood in my name. I have not sent them, nor commanded them, nor spoken to them. They are prophesying to you false vision, worthless divination, and the deceit of their own heart. Please follow his word. You read his word. Pray for understanding. Guard his commands. Desire Yahusha to live in you and teach you and guide you. No man, should take you to salvation. Ezekiel 4:10 says, and they shall bear their crookedness. The crookedness of the prophet is the same as the crookedness of the inquirer. This is so important to understand, because never will you be able to stand before Abba on Judgment Day and say, but he said that this is what it is. He was the priest. He was the minister. Abba's not going to have that, because he says the crookedness of the prophet is the same as the crookedness of the inquirer, the follower, the one who listens to those false teachings. We are all responsible for our own salvation. Be careful what you allow people to whisper in your ears. Be careful what you are allowing people to put in your mind. 2 Timothy 1 verse 4, 2 Timothy 4 verse 3 says, for there shall be a time when they shall not bear sound teaching, but according to their own desires, they shall heap up for themselves teachers tickling the ear. Why are those mega churches so full? Because they love what they're hearing. I hope you can still see me. Is that better? Just bear with me for a second. There we go. I think that's a little bit better, and now it's getting darker again. So if I put that a little bit that way. So be careful what you allow people to put in your ear. Abba warns everyone. In 2 Kephas 3 verse 16 it says, as also in his letters, speaking in them concerning these matters, in which some are hard to understand, which those who are untaught and unstable to twist to their own destruction, as they do also the other scriptures. This is a clear warning that to be aware, especially if you're early in your walk, it is sometimes difficult to understand. Do not fear. Do not hesitate to trust Abba. Look to him for answers. Let him help you. But do not follow if it is not according to Torah, if it's not according to Abba's word. Because man will twist the scriptures, particularly for those who are untaught. That's why I've said in the previous teaching, it is so important. Knowledge. Have to study Abba's word. For that knowledge, then you will become stable and firm in your walk with Abba. 2 Peter 3 verse 17 says, then, beloved ones, be forewarned. Watch, lest you also shall fall from your own steadfastness, being led away by the delusion of the lawless. Who is the lawless? The one who does not keep Abba's word. Lawless without Torah. Torahless. Abba says, be forewarned. He is warning us. Galatians 1 verse 6 and 7. I know Christians like to use it against people like us. You must remember this was written to the people of Galatia, the ones that were dispersed. And it says, I marvel that you are so readily turning away from him who called you in the favor of Messiah to a different good news. There is no different good news. Which is not another. Only there are some who are troubling you, wishing to pervert the good news of Messiah. There is no other teaching. There is one Torah. There is just a 7th-day Sabbath. And then we have our high Sabbaths, which are movable according to the time. And we need to work that out. Abba says that you do not belong to him if you are not his, if you don't walk in his way. Trying to get a bit more light. Let's see if I can move that. There we go, I think. I hope it works. Everyone who is transgressing and not staying in the teaching of Messiah does not possess Elohim. The one who stays in the teaching of Messiah possesses both the Father and the Son. If anyone comes to you and does not bring this teaching, do not receive him into your house, nor greet him. Here we go, the sun is out again. We will endure and we will get through this, and the enemy will not take this away from us. So this is such a clear warning. It says, everyone who is transgressing and not staying in the teaching of our Messiah, that is his word. If you don't stay to that, you're not his, and you're not Abba's. And if anyone comes to you not bringing the teaching of Messiah, don't receive him. Do not even greet him. Because if you do, you become partakers in his sin. Not a place you want to be. False messiahs to lead even the chosen ones astray, be warned. Matthew 24, 24 and 25. For false messiahs and false prophets shall arise, and they shall show great signs and wonders, so as to lead astray, if possible, even the chosen ones. And it says, see, I have forewarned you. Again, Abba warning us against these false teachers. But the great bit is, trust in Yahuwah, and only follow one teacher, Yahusha, our Messiah. Listen to this. Matthew 23 verse 8 says, but you do not be called Rabbi or Rabbi, for one is your teacher, the Messiah, and you are all brothers. One is our teacher. Messiah 23:10 says, neither be called leaders, for one is your leader, the Messiah. One. Thus, from Jeremiah 33, 2 and 3 says, thus said Yahuwah, who made it, Yahuwah, who formed it to establish it. Yahuwah is his name. Call unto me, and I shall answer you, and show you great and inaccessible matters, which you have not known. Call to Abba, and he will show you. Wonderful. I praise my Abba. I praise Yahuwah. Wonderful. And then the last one, and then I'm finished. It says, having put aside then all evil and all deceit and hypocrisies and envyings and all evil words, put it aside. As newborn babes desire the unadulterated milk of the word. The unadulterated milk. Nothing's changed. Stick to Abba's word. In order that you grow by it, if indeed you have tasted that the Master is good, drawing near to him, a living stone, rejected indeed by men, but chosen by Elohim and precious. You also, as living stones, we must be like a rock, immovable, like Mount Zion, be immovable, because we are built up a spiritual house, a set-apart priesthood, to offer up spiritual slaughter offerings acceptable to Elohim through Yahushua Messiah. Our spiritual offerings is our offerings from our lips, praising Yah by mouth, worshipping him in song. Sing the Tehillims to him, sing the Psalms to him, and praise the only teacher. Baruch haba b'shem Yahuwah. Blessed is he who comes in the name of Yahuwah. Shalom, till next time.